Hello crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. This is Elfie Take 2. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut out Elfie with the Brother Scan and Cut. This time I will not only use the CM350 by request, the Brother Scan and Cut 2, but I will go back and I will show you the settings for the SDX 125. I really screwed up. I didn't even know it. Yesterday, when I created a video for YouTube, I showed how to cut out Elfie with the Scan and Cut SDX 125, and there was a whole section of my video that didn't actually get recorded. You were also nice to me. You weren't giving me like thumbs down. You weren't complaining. You were complimenting my Elfie projects. I love you guys. I love my viewers. But one viewer very respectfully was just like, you didn't show us the settings. And I'm like, what is she talking about? And her name is Sharon Dillon. So thank you, Sharon, because she said, I'm really struggling to figure out how you did this. I didn't see how you programmed the machine. Well, the whole middle of my recording yesterday got cut out, and it was never recorded. So I screwed up. And I didn't even know it because my video was so long that I thought, surely I showed everything. But there was a section missing. So what I'm going to do now is just stamp a couple of the Elfies. And I'm not going to show you how to mount stamps and all that good stuff like I showed yesterday, because that video is still on YouTube, and I'm not going to take it down because once you put something on YouTube, it has a life of its own, meaning it could get like shared or put on different social media, and you don't like take it down. So even though I screwed up, I'm not taking it down. I'm just recording it now and fixing my mistake. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to cut out Elfie with the Scan and Cut. I'm taking Elfie. He's already mounted. I'm putting him on the stamping block. Start to finish, you're going to learn how to stamp it onto the Whisper White cardstock. I'm adding black ink. And then I'm going to show you how to cut these out. And I'm going to show you some tips and tricks. Now, normally I would cut a lot of these out at once. But I'm actually in Elfie overload mode. I already have a lot cut out. So I'm just going to cut out. Let's just do one of each so I can show you how to do this. So we're going to do no peeking next. No peeking has a little trick to it. That one doesn't have the sticker on it, but you'll get to see the no peeking. I'm tapping the ink onto the stamp, or if the stamp pad is big enough, you can put your stamp onto it. Okay? Oh, I already stamped that twice, so let's go ahead and, since I stamped it twice, I'll go ahead and use the ink. Okay, next I'm going to show you this cute little guy. He is dancing on a present. Now for that one, I need a larger stamping block. I have been using stamping block D, but I'm going to use stamping block I because it's going to be bigger. Sometimes you get a little dust on your stamps. Blow the little lint off of there. Okay, so now, because the stamp is so large, I have to use this. I have to go like this and use the ink on top of it that way. Again, Memento black ink onto Whisper White cardstock. That's what I like to use because of the good ink absorption. Notice I'm using a little sponge. I'm not using my flat on the table. I have a little sponge when I stamp. These are all just little tips and tricks to help get better stamped images. But we of course make such high quality stamps that we have no problem with the, getting a good image most of the time. Okay, next I'm going to mount the last of the Elfies. And I'll do one present as well. So we'll put this guy like that. We'll actually go ahead and add the present. This little gift here. We'll just add him right to the stamping block. Stamping block I again. If you just get stamping block I, you'll be able to use the whole set. Everything will fit on stamping block I. Okay. And I'm just inking up the stamp. I'm stamping onto my Whisper White. So now we have our stamped images. I will clean these all later because I want to move on and show you lots of cool stuff. Okay, so let's get this all out of the way. Now, we are going to show you the trick. I'm going to show you the trick now. Covering my ink. You see how the no peeking has the sentiment? Well, it's not one continuous image. So if you want to cut this out as one continuous image, you need to enclose it. Okay, so I'm going to take a pencil, just any number 2 pencil. People ask me this all the time. Just a number 2 pencil, and I'm just going to enclose it. Okay, and that's it. This one I will not enclose. I'll go ahead and cut it out separate so you can see that that's also cute. And then for this one, if you want the little motion lines, you would cut around them, but I tried it yesterday, and the little motion lines actually, it came out when I traced around them, they had like big humps on the side. So we're just gonna leave it as it is. Okay, I'm not even gonna, you'll see what I mean. It's gonna, because it's really gonna just trace the ornament. All right, that's about it. I don't think there's any more tips and tricks for this particular one because these are really good, well-defined black lines. And so you're gonna have no problem cutting these out with the Scan and Cut. So now I'm gonna open up my Scan and Cut. I'm gonna load my mat. Okay, so this is a Scan and Cut 2, so you can put the mat in either direction, which I like. I've just recently restuck my mat, so hopefully it won't roll. Hopefully it'll just load in there without me having to do a lot of rubs. But I do have, just gonna give it a little rub. I do have, you know, painter's tape I use sometimes to hold things in place. But when I'm scanning, I don't use my painter's tape because I don't want to block these registration marks. All right, so let's pull this closer. And first things first, you got to load the mat. So I'm going to use this button here. And it's the load the mat button. And it loaded perfectly, so we're good there. Now we're going to say the two choices are pattern and scan. I want to do scan. I'm cutting out Elfie directly, little Elfie, direct cut. I'm not saving it. I'm going to save it to my machine. Black and white recognition mode, that's what you want. Whenever you have well-defined lines, you always use black and white recognition mode. You're going to hit start. Some things that are different about the CM350 than the DX machines is that you have to set your blade depth. That's one of the things you have to do. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute because I want to not interrupt the flow because it's recognizing. So here's what it's doing. It's recognizing. We're going to say okay. And it did a good job of recognizing my stamped images. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so you can see that. Okay, it did what it was supposed to do. You might be saying, but it didn't get these letters. It's not supposed to get those letters. They're not one enclosed. You didn't enclose them. It got these letters for the no peeking because that's because we used the pencil trick and it enclosed them like it was supposed to. So it did everything it was supposed to do. And now I'd like to add an outline distance of 0.04. Okay, let me show you what that looks like. That looks like that, a little bit of a white outline around Elfie. Okay, we're going to add 0.04 outline distance and say okay. You could also, if you weren't using Whisper White cardstock and you had a bunch of scratches all over your mat, you could go in here and ignore object size. It gets rid of small objects on your mat. I did have a little stray line down there, and that's why I'm just selecting just this part of the mat. So that way it'll cut out that. Okay, and I do want to get rid of those few letters. There's few letters that got selected, but I don't want to cut out those letters. So you can ignore object size. Maybe, see how they disappear as I go up? 0.24, and now they're all gone. We say okay, we say okay. Now I'm going to tell you about the blade depth. Now, if you're using Whisper White cardstock, the regular Whisper White by Stampin' Up, I use a blade depth of 4. Okay? If you're using designer series paper, like the cute paper I used for some of my projects, like this. If you're cutting designer series paper itself, I use a blade depth of 3. If you're cutting cardstock, this is cardstock. This is like a blueberry bushel cardstock. Boy, did I get a lot of glitter on there. You would use a blade depth of 5. So those are the 3 blade depths I use the most. 3, 4, and 5. So 4 is good for right now. We're cutting Whisper White, so we're using a 4. I'll have all of this in the notes of this video. This video will probably have a similar title than my last video about cutting out stamped images with Elfie. Okay, so one difference you might notice if you've been watching my other videos is this machine's a little bit noisier. So I am stepping away because it is a little bit noisier. But I'm not stopping my video because I don't want to risk the chance of losing an entire piece of instructional content like I did yesterday. Elfie is part of our holiday catalog, and I will open up to the page where Elfie is. Okay, one thing I didn't mention in yesterday's video on YouTube is this is a specially designed stamp set, meaning when a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator achieves $1 million in sales over their lifetime, they get to help design their own stamp set. So Karen Duke was the one who designed this stamp set. So isn't that great that an actual Stampin' Up! Demonstrator was able to design with the company, with the help of the graphic artist at the company. All right, so now we've cut the images, and we're going to say, okay, we're going to unload the mat, and that's it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I meant unload. Okay, unload the mat. Okay, and that's it. So that's it for the CM350. Now I'm going to push it away, show you how to remove the stamped images. If you want to know how to color and you want to know more stamping techniques, watch my messed up video from yesterday, because I do have a lot more content in that video. But now, you know, I was asked privately by Linda, one of my viewers, she asked about the settings for the CM350. So I definitely wanted to show you that the settings were a little bit different. Okay, so now that's how I peeled the mat away. And now I'm going to use my little spatula to pull these off the mat. Let's go ahead and put them onto a piece of red shimmery cardstock. Okay, you can use your fingers or you can use your little spatula to put all of these little stamped images onto. Okay, there we go. And then all we need to do, and to see how the different, I'll talk about these two ones that we fixed. All we need to do is erase the extra stray marks. So for that one, let me move this closer. See how we have no peeking and no peeking. They're both cute, right? But for this one, we need to erase the extra pencil marks. So don't ever use a regular pink eraser from the back of your pencil, because it'll leave a mark. You want to use a little white eraser. Okay, like this one. And we're going to just erase those marks. Okay, and then you're not going to be able to see them. So I'm just erasing them. So I don't want to get out of the camera's view here. So I'll put that way over there. Sorry for being so far away, but I am not going to do as much moving around this time because I don't want to screw up this video. All right, so there's what your sentiment would look like, and how cute are these? All right, so then I'm going to show you now what to do for the SDX 125. We're going to move that machine into this place. Okay, so I have it all set up, and it's already, I have to put this machine like that just to make room on my table, and I have to move this other one because I'm not going to move my tripod. So we're going to move this machine here. This is the SDX 125. Okay, and I already have pre-stamped images to show you. Okay, I pre-stamped these two. Okay, so we have no peeking and no peeking. We're going to do the same pencil trick. Okay, we're going to do a pencil trick with one of them. So I'm going to enclose one of these and not the other one, just so you can see how to cut these out on this Scan and Cut SDX 125. Normally I would use a whole 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. You'll see why. My mat's very scratched, and it's going to recognize all kinds of extra stuff in here. Okay, I'm laying it on my mat. It's dry so I can rub it. Okay. Now, bring in this closer. The SDX 125 has other names, like it's basically if you have a DX model, like it's called, I think, 1000, SDX 1000 in Australia. You guys can tell me what the names of your machines are, so I can know all of the equivalent models. All right, so here we are with the SDX 125. We're going to still use Scan, okay? And I'm going to start from the beginning of loading the mat. Okay, I have my mat is unloaded. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to load the mat. I just want to start from step one, load the mat. And now you're going to see direct cut again. So So that part's the same. Save it to the machine. This is just a temporary storage area. Now this is a little different. So you still have your black and white recognition mode, see? But what you can do, let me get my stylus. What you can do on the SDX, which you can't do on the CM350, is you can select your scanning area. I want a 12 by 6 scanning area, as opposed to a 12 by 12, which is really nice. So if I only have a little bit at the top of the mat, this saves me time. Again, black and white recognition mode. You say start. And it's going to scan in 2 little Elfies and recognize them. It's also going to recognize the scratches on my mat because I did not use a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. Okay, so let's say okay. See all the scratches on my mat? So that gives me a chance to show you another tip. So I could sit there and ignore object size and delete all of these out manually, which would take me a long time. But instead, if I just zoom into the area I want, where my images are, I have a lot less editing and a lot less ignoring objects to do. Okay, so I just zoom into that area. I'm still going to do that ignore object size to get rid of those extra letters from the one that we didn't outline. And I'm still going to show you how to edit out those extra bits. We say okay. We're still going to add an outline distance. As you can see, it was in a little bit different place, but you can still add that outline distance of 0.04. And I'm going to show you how to edit out that little stray bit of dirt on the machine. So after you add your outline distance, go back to edit, hit the trash can. If you want to select something else, this is how you toggle between all of the items selected on the screen. We want this item, that little item, we're going to delete it. We don't want to cut it. Say okay. Say okay again. And we're going to select cut. In the CM350, you don't have to select cut. It just knows to cut. So it just knows. But this time you have to tell it. This machine wants to know, do you want to cut? Do you want to draw? Do you want to emboss? I've shown how to do all of these things on my channel and in my courses. All right, so it's cutting out. Notice how quiet it is compared to the CM350. Also notice I didn't need to set the blade depth. It just was automatic because it uses auto blades. It's say okay and unload and say okay. So now, let's say, I just want to show you the auto blade because I'm using the SDX 125 right now. It has auto blade. See, there's no numbers on it. You don't need to set the blade depth. It just knows what the pressure is. Okay, so I'm going to peel this away from the mat. And there are my 2 images. And same thing, you would use a spatula. Okay, and both machines did a good job cutting out. I think that they both need to be aligned. Let me show you why I think that. Let me go get the other page and just show you why I think that. Okay, so when I say aligned, and I'm going to turn my camera down now so you can see my examples and stuff and see what's going on. Now that I've got to show you the settings on the machine, I'm happy to move my tripod. All right, so here's what I'm talking about. If you notice my stamped images, these 2 were just cut out from the SDX, and these were cut out from, the ones on the right were cut out from the CM350. What I'm noticing right now is that there's a little bit of more white space on the left side of the stamped images than there are on the right side. Not on this one. This one came out pretty good on the hat, but I noticed on that one too. So this one there's a little bit more white space on the right than on the left. And this one, there's a little bit more white space on the left than the right. In fact, I'll just get them and show you. This one was just done a minute ago with the SDX, and this one was done with the CM350. Both did a great job cutting out, but notice there's not even white space around them. So when that happens, you have to use the scanning, cutting, position adjustment. And I've shown how to use that on my channel and in my courses. But that is not what this video is about. So I'm just saying I think I need to do that after this video. I need to go do an alignment to get things to cut out evenly. All right, let's get into the samples. Excited to show you Elfie. Again, I'm just opening up Elfie open up the holiday catalog. If you would like a copy of the holiday catalog, then you can order anything, including Elfie, Someone actually ordered Elfie yesterday, even though I screwed up my video. So thank you. You're all going to get the Holiday Catalog Sampler. And the Holiday Catalog Sampler includes snowman cards, which I'm not going to show again. And it includes some other samples from the Holiday Catalog, such as the samples I'll show you right now, such as like little samplers. I'm going to be giving samples out. Okay? And also, Sharon, you're going to be getting, for figuring out how I screwed up my video, you're getting this special Elfie card. Okay? So this is Elfies around the world. I made all different kinds of Elfies. And Holiday Hello. I'm going to open it up here. I'm going to open it up and show you the inside because I'd already packaged this. So inside of the card it is, may your Christmas be merry and full of delight with a new year that's happy and healthy and bright. Okay, so this is shaded spruce cardstock. Okay, and then these are the little tags I made with Elfie. I made them with all the three, so I had made more since yesterday. Okay, this is, by the way, that's my host code she used for the special. By September 15th, I should mention. By September 15th. And you'll get a sampler of different things I've made with the catalog. I'm not even sure what you're going to get yet because I'm still making samples. I just got a lot of my products now. So I just made these two after the video was over. I cut this one last night. And, okay, so that's, you can see the little Wink of Stella. The reason I'm tilting it is so you can see that there's Wink of Stella on there. That is a little bit of glitter. And I also showed how I colored those in the other video, in yesterday's video. Okay, and there's Wink of Stella, a little bit glitter on these tags. I used, to make the tags, something from our annual catalog, Delightful Tag Topper Punch. And I also used that to make this tag treat, which has little mints inside. I used the Delightful Tag Topper Punch. And then how I used that punch, and I also used the classic label punch. I used that for making this Holiday Hello cutout. And it also fits for the no peeking. Okay, so this is a great punch to have. And you know we can make shapes with our scan and cuts, but I like to have punches. It helps me use up my scraps. And I'm going to show you the other card example. Let me try to find my, oh, I must have sealed the bag backwards, but that's okay. Sorry for the shaky plastic. I didn't know I'd be doing another video, or I wouldn't have wrapped these up. Okay, so let's see. This is a belly band for the no peeking. I'm using Let It Snow Designer Series paper. And Sue on my channel asked how I pick my color palettes. Well, I let Stampin' Up pick the color palettes. And so when I chose to use the Let It Snow Designer Series paper, I knew one of the colors was Coastal Cabana. So then I put Coastal Cabana cardstock behind this Elfie. I knew one of the coordinating colors was Shaded Spruce. Another color is Real Red, Blueberry Bushel. These were all coordinated in the Let It Snow suite, so that's how I chose my color palette. I let Stampin' Up choose the color palette. And when they choose coordinating colors, then I try to go along with those colors when I make my projects. So thank you for watching. This is the Papered Chef, and I hope to keep creating videos on the Brother ScanNCut and craft fair inspiration and other crafty projects. So please subscribe to my channel if you're new here. Thank you.